Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps that I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Down. Strap season. I know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switched codes, but he code switch focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that could end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. With my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a piece, man. I ain't got no time for a piece, man. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, then you might want to get out of Dodge while they eat. Honestly, think it's not the blood in the beat. If they don't leave anything behind that they eat.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a... When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they want to call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, Godfather. I'm the kingpin.
What's good? What's good? What's happening, everybody? What's happening, man? Boxing is picking up a little bit, man. You know what I mean? I know everybody ain't excited about Connor Benn fighting Regis Prograis, but man, it's a pretty good, interesting fight. Even though when I think of Connor Benn, I think of a mediocre fighter. You know what I'm saying? Can he swing them hands? Yeah, he can throw them hands. He's a professional. But when you think about, his legacy, you know what I'm saying? And he's a legacy fighter. He's the son of Nigel Benn, right? So you would think that, that would mean something. But the way he carries it out, you know what I'm saying, with the drug cheat scandal, and I think it was like some pregnancy, like steroids or some shit. I don't even know. It's like, do he really, is he taking the sport seriously? You know what I'm saying? And he don't know what weight division he really want to fight at. It's like, he's like really, if you think about it, he's like a prize fighter. He just don't give a damn. He'll fight wherever wherever the money's at. That's where Connor Benn is going to go. And he just kind of let me down, being the son of Nigel Benn, and popping up dirt where they say Nigel Benn was on that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? That's how he survived that beatdown by Gerald McClellan, right? If everybody can remember that. And because he got Falumaloon. He got Falumaloon by Gerald McClellan. I'm talking about Gerald McClellan had his ass all through the ropes, you know what I'm saying? And he still came back and was able to hurt and injure Gerald McClellan. And that boy was a beast. So, getting to his son, he had some really good victories, against some, low level opponents, but kind of being really haven't made a name, except for, beating Chris Eubanks. And really that was kind of a novelty type of fight, right? So, you wanted to kind of see him get in a weight division and maybe climb up and become a champion, and we haven't seen that out of Connor Benn. So that really is a disappointment, him being the son of Nigel Benn, right? And then Regis Prograis, you know, he's a truly small guy, right? Um, his career ever since he lost to Dev, he was on the decline after that too, because he lost to Jack Catterall. And he just haven't been looking good. He's been looking kind of long in the tooth. And Regis, he was always on the cuff. He's a solid fighter, but at this point, he's definitely a journeyman. You know what I'm saying? I think his championship days are way gone, especially when he got dropped by Dev, man. Devin don't have power like that. It's just the speed, man. Devin got crazy speed, and he was able to drop Regis, and I was really surprised by that. You know, but Regis, I think he's had some decline. You know what I'm saying? More and more. And right now, I think he's just trying to pad his pocket because the rumor is that Regis is hurt. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fully recover. You know what I'm saying? I think he fought Joseph Diaz, right? And that was a unanimous decision. And I think he hurt himself in that fight. And the word on the street is that, what I'm saying, Regis is not 100%. So this should probably be a one-sided beatdown. It's probably going to be a one-sided beatdown, and Conor Benn, what I'm saying, he's going to take, what I'm saying, the lesser fight, right? Because he can't afford to lose right now, what I'm saying, because right now people are not really taking him seriously. They're not really looking at him like, he's going to move the goalposts at any division, right? I mean, who is he going to fight? Now we don't have like no real like gigantic names, what I'm saying. So Conor Benn, if they gave him a chance, say he could possibly go in there and beat somebody, what I'm saying. It's like, because the guys that we got, that the belts are changing hands so fast right now, what I'm saying. They're going back and forth. So Conor Benn could, if he could stay at maybe 147, or if he could stay at, I don't think he has a chance at 154. I think it's too much talent up there. But if he could fit in somewhere, what I'm saying, and he could probably pick maybe a weaker opponent, what I'm saying. I don't think he can go to 140. I think that's too small, because this fight here is at what one? It's at a catch weight. I think it's like 150, something like that. Because I think the weigh in he was like 149 and a half, something like that. So really, what I'm saying, Conor Benn is just kind of like floating all over the place, fighting catch weight fights. And Regis, I think he's just, looking for a money fight to kind of pad his pockets for retirement. I think he's what, 37 years old, and he's a old 37 years old. And it seemed like he just couldn't get back, what I'm saying, on the upper echelon, of what I'm saying, of in the boxing game. And Dev just kind of like, what I'm saying, kind of sealed his coffin, what I'm saying, put the nail in his coffin. And ever since then, one second, y'all. Excuse me. Put the nail in his coffin. So this fight, what I'm saying, even though it's not the best, it's probably going to be a pretty entertaining beatdown, because I think Conor Benn is just way too big. I think he's way too big for Regis. Regis, he's a courageous fighter. He ain't scared of nobody. But you could just see the decline in his game over a period of time, and it's just sad. It's just sad, man. But what I'm saying? Hey, you can't stay boxing forever, and every fighter got a different date. What I'm saying, to get up out of there, man. Um, but I will be watching this fight this weekend, because I do think it's going to be pretty entertaining. I just kind of want to see if Regis got what it takes to upset Conor Benn. What I'm saying? They say every great fighter, what I'm saying, older fighter, what I'm saying, got one more great fight in them. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe if Regis can get that upset, that'll be I want to be there to see that. You know what I'm saying? If Regis can pull something from, you know what I'm saying, his old days, you know what I'm saying, and he can upset Connor Benn, you know what I mean? That'll be awesome, bro. 'Cause I'm gonna be rooting for Regis. I just think he's, I just think he deserves to go out with a bang, you know what I'm saying? Because he has put in a lot of work. Um, he's given his all to the sport of boxing, and I just want to see him go out on top. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I never had nothing against Regis. He came up during the times of Jamel Charlo. He came up during the times of Errol Spence Jr. So he was always on the fringe. Regis was always on the fringe of those guys, right? You know what I'm saying? He was like always, right on the outside, you know what I'm saying? He even trained with them at times, right? So they all know each other, but Regis just never got the respect that Earl Smith Jr. got or Jamel Charlo. They were the bigger stars. So he just kind of took a, what I'm saying, he just kind of, was in the back, what I'm saying, and nobody really kind of like gave him that kind of stardom, what I'm saying. But he was on his way, he was on his way, he just fell short, what I'm saying. Taylor, what I'm saying, beat him, and after Taylor beat him, it was just, it was a downward trajectory for him. But he's always been a decent fighter. Um, just a little too small, short arms, and I think it's going to be the same. If you look at this picture right here, you can see the size difference. He's definitely kind of been definitely got the height, over Regis, and him being the bigger man coming down. Um, it's you can see that this is probably not. He's probably Regis probably going to get stopped, and he probably, the way Connor Ben comes out with those power punches, he's a real bully in the ring. He's a real wild ass fighter. So he's going to come out there trying to dominate Regis, and I don't think Regis got the reflexes or the power to really catch Connor Ben, because Connor Ben is pretty fast, believe it or not. See, he's a fast. He got fast hands. You know what I'm saying? He's got power, and I think he's going to try to just humiliate Regis. I think he's going to try to go through him. I think he's going to come out there swinging hard. I think he's going to be trying to knock him out. And Regis could get caught, what I'm saying, in the first, second round. So it could end that fast. And, I hate to see him go out like that, but, hopefully the rumors that him not being 100% is fake. I'm saying? I'm hoping that, I'm saying, he's healthy, and maybe, I'm saying, Regis is 100% and he go up in there and get the upset. Now I know that's a lot to hope for. I know that's a whole lot of shit to hope for, but because boxing, this dude probably he wouldn't have never taken this fight. What I'm saying, if it was somebody else, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of been kind of crazy though. What I'm saying? Kind of been kind. I mean, if you come in there with blonde hair, what I'm saying, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's kind of crazy. He is crazy. So he might fight, any of the top guys, because I think he just Conor Ben is just more in it for the financial game. I don't think he cares about the win or the lose if it's to a top guy. Long as he get a big fight to make some cash, right? And he wants to put some hurt. Conor Ben wants to put some hurt on somebody. Now, is he doing anything illegal? What I'm saying, as far as the drugs, as far as what I'm saying, anything illegal or substance. Hey, I mean, it's always in the back of your mind. What I'm saying? And I hope he's not doing that against Regis, right? Because you just never know with these UK fighters. Um, what I'm saying? They're allowing it now, what I'm saying, off season. If you're not getting tested for VADA, what I'm saying, it's just a damn shame that the things that the fighters getting away with today, right? It's just terrible, bro. And then I think when he got fined, I think he was out for like a year, and a year later, he's right back. Or was it 6 months? It was just like ridiculous. Fighters sit out for 6 months to a year anyway. So what I'm saying, really, it wasn't a punishment, and it was really egregious. What I'm saying, how he was cheating the system, right? So you kind of got to wonder how many of those those wins by Connor Benn was, steroid induced, right? How many of them was steroid induced? We don't know, and we'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't get caught back then. But now, now that we know that, what I'm saying, Connor Benn, man, he will take some damn steroids, you know what I'm saying, to beat your ass. And I think Regis should be cautious, you know what I'm saying? I think Regis should be cautious in this fight, you know what I'm saying? Because if he jumps to the center of a ring like a gorilla, you know what I'm saying, and I'm talking about like the Bionic Man, then you know something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because you coming down in weight, you know what I'm saying, you should be weak. You know what I mean? And it's like this dude had to cut a lot of goddamn weight to meet Regis at 149, right? And he was weight drained. Um, he looked a little drained in the first fight with Chris Eubanks, right? So, but when the second fight came, he looked a lot more energized and everything. So, this dude here, you kind of got to watch Chris Eubanks. You know what I'm saying? He just don't look trustworthy. He just the nigga don't look trustworthy. He just don't, bro. He looked like he'll cheat. He looked like, what I'm saying, he will say, excuse me, go to the bathroom, shoot up some damn steroids and come back. You know what I'm saying? He just looked like that. He don't give a damn. He just, ethics, what I'm saying, sportsmanship, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think that's in his vocabulary. Now, as far as Regis, I think Regis is a full blown professional. I just think he's just been in decline for the last 5, 6 years. And, say I don't think he can do anything about it, right? Say too many training camps, um, too many losses, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think he is a contender anymore, right? You know what I'm saying? Even though he had some good wins, Um, but this fight isn't really going to garner a lot of attention because of who both of these guys are. Only the boxing aficionados that really love the sport is gonna, probably watch this fight this weekend. And like I said, I'm just curious to see if Regis, saying, can get the upset. I just want to see him get the upset because I do not like Connor Benn and I don't like what he stands for, right? And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't like what the dude stand for. Um, you know, so it's just one of those deals to get Connor Benn a win, to get his name and get him working inside, what I'm saying, one of these divisions. Because Connor Benn definitely got to have a backing. Certain fighters, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but certain fighters you just can't get rid of them. Brian Garcia, he's one of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no matter how many times this guy get beat, he gets another opportunity. He's like the Spanish Lomachenko, the Spanish Loma Chico, it don't matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep giving Ryan an opportunity. Tio, Tio, I don't know what it is to be born Spanish, what I'm saying, in boxing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to you just got a upside. The upside to being Spanish, you're going to get title shots. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get promotion. You know what I'm saying? It's just Hispanic fighters are blessed in this generation and this era of boxing. So it just is what it is. The WBC don't even give a damn no more. They're not even trying to hide it. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're all for their Spanish fighters. So the boxing is turned upside down a little bit, but we have Turkey, and I don't know if Turkey coming or going. You know what I'm saying? But he is helping out boxing, in my opinion, because we're not going to get these fights, these fantasy fights that we want to see without an outside entity, what I'm saying, that's willing to put up the money, what I'm saying, so we can see the fights that we want to see. Now I don't know how this whole thing about um boxing going to uh over there, Arabia, wherever yet, you know I don't think that's going to happen. Those people are not interested in boxing. That arena be so empty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you had two camels fighting and shit, that probably get you a crowd over there. What's going on, like skin business? If you had two camels and shit fighting, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, it's like that probably would get them excited. Whatever they watch over there. But the fights, they're just not into it. They don't have none of their people that's really good. That good, except for that Shira guy. Um, but I think he's gonna, he's not gonna last. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna last because they really don't have a legacy like that. And I think America needs to really focus, what I'm saying, on taking boxing back over. Because look like, and even in the NBA, the football, they're just trying to get all make it like a global type of participation. And it's like it's never used to be like that, you know what I'm saying? But they got new directors and all that stuff trying to water down everything. And boxing ain't no different, you know what I'm saying? They trying to get all these different um races in here and everything to participate, but it's not going to be the same. And then they're not building boxers the way they used to. So, right, what I'm saying? Look at Keyshawn Davis. Even though he's a talented guy, but he hasn't done shit yet, and he already, what I'm saying, trying to get that prima donna treatment, right? All this calling out, Tank, calling out, what I'm saying, Devin, calling out, that's not gonna get it, bro. So you got to like really be about that, but once you see a fighter go kind of like, start hiding and going back on his word and everything, it's like, bro, I don't want to see that shit, bro. I want to see you, try to fight the next best opponent, right? And that's something I'm looking at when I watch Keyshawn Davis. He's all about publicity, but is he about that action? And then he's always, going down to 135, what I'm saying, and messing with Abdullah Mason and trying to sun him. For some reason, he's always trying to intimidate the smaller guys, right? I think Champ Stock called him a bum basher, right? And I said, well, we don't know yet, even though he's fighting Albright, a guy that he already beat, what I'm saying? So you can kind of see he's not really trying to elevate, what I'm saying, in the sport of boxing, what I'm saying, in a linear fashion, right? So that's just getting on my nerve. What I'm saying? I'm tired of seeing him buck his eyes. I'm tired of seeing him, talk all this crap and ain't really trying to do anything. And then you got too many friends. Keyshawn Davis got way too many friends, and all that really means is he don't want to fight him. He don't. That's a fighter that he probably does not want to fight. You know what I'm saying? That just gets on my nerves because Shakur Stevenson is right there. You know what I'm saying? And you're the WBO number one contender. He's the WBO number one contender. He should be fighting Shakur. You know, and it's not that I want to see two brothers bang heads, but really, what I'm saying, if you're gonna fight anybody, that's the guy, right? That's the dude that you could test yourself against, right? I mean, eventually they're gonna have to go at it because Keyshawn can't get along with nobody for too long. So, and then he's goofy as hell, right? So there's that. So next, what I wanted to talk about, well, my people, man, my people got to come in, man. I guess they say, damn, they can't believe that I went live, right? But man, your boy been right now. Your boy's sitting in Utah. I had to deliver to Utah this morning, Salt Lake City. So I'm right on the outside of Salt Lake City. So your boy be traveling, man. So let's go. Next, I wanted to talk about my boy EJ, man. It's like EJ been out here, man. It's like I've been watching him. I've been watching him train. He's been kind of coming back into the news cycle, and I'm trying to look for the little. See, I got to take this down first. Y'all excuse me for a second. Let me take this here down. Let's see. There we go. And EJ's supposed to be fighting Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu just beat this dude. I think it was last weekend. He beat this guy named Dennis Dennis Nujar or something like that. And he performed well. Don't get me wrong, he performed well. Here we go. He performed well, but you could tell that he was a little rusty. He didn't look like the dominant Tim Tszyu that was going through the 154 division of the old fighters, right? And you could just tell that he wasn't quite sharp, right? But he was sharp enough to beat his opponent, right? And but the thing is, he's getting in rounds, and Errol Spence Jr. once again is not getting the rounds in, right? He's not taking a tune-up, to fight this guy, right? He's going straight to him, and I just for the life of me, maybe he don't want to do multiple training camps. I don't know what it is, but he just do not like doing the tune-up thing, right? But I think he would be blessed to take a tune up, right? Before he fight, put his name on the line, right? But he don't see it that way. And then, I'm looking at him in training. I'm looking at EJ in training. I'm trying to, kind of make an assessment, saying, is this dude, do he still got something left? Because he's with Ronnie Shields now. Him and Jamal Charlo, they're training together. And that's pretty cool, what I'm saying? Because you know, Jamal has been out for a while too. And I even thought to the point where Jamal wasn't going to come back, to boxing. So, that entire Texas camp is, just in chaos and disarray. And I know a lot of people want to give Bud Crawford the credit for that, but that's not what it. That's not. That's just that was just a symptom of what was going on behind the scenes because Derek James and Errol Spence Jr. Saying they had some kind of money issues, right? And I look at it like Ryan Garcia came to the camp, then you had AJ coming through there, and I believe that Derek got a taste of the money, what I'm saying, from them guys, and I think maybe even Oscar De La Hoya probably had a hand in that, right? You know what I'm saying, like paying this man, and I don't know what EJ was paying Derek, but clearly he wanted more money. And it's just hard to believe, with them having this long ass relationship, right? Them having such a long relationship that something you know, like money dispute, come between them. But I think they really do have a business relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're friends. And, I was just kind of surprised that, Derek James, what I'm saying, they broke up after all this, right? Now I don't know what EJ mental, what I'm saying, where his mind was after the defeat to Crawford, but everything just fell apart, what I'm saying, after that. So I was like, damn, now Errol Spence Jr. got to find him a damn coach. And that's going to take time to build up a rapport with the new coach. But I think he's familiar with Ronnie Shields. I don't know how much time, but with Ronnie Shields having trained Jamel and Jamal, he should know Ronnie Shields pretty well, right? So I'm watching him train and I'm watching him hit the gloves, right, around the shields, and I'm just like, I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me pull that up. Hold on. Let me see. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. You know. Let me see. Cause EJ, man, it's like, damn, bro. A lot of people saying that he should retire. Let me see. They're saying he should retire. They're saying he looks slow. And I'm just thinking maybe it's just what he's working on, maybe he's just training. And Ronnie Shields. Let's see, Ronnie Shields. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull it up, y'all. Okay. Okay, I gotta cut that music off. All right, so okay. Let's see. So image video file. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Just bear with me for a second. There we go. So here's EJ, right? Now, We know how EJ usually move, and I'm just saying, is this just something that he's showing us, or is this what the kind of speed that we are to expect? Is this the new version of how he's going to be fighting for now? You know what I'm saying? And this could be anything. Let me cut that sound off. Okay. So this is EJ, man. This is what he's looking like. I mean, basically, he always was methodical. He always moved, what I'm saying, at his own pace. But I always he always seemed like he was a little bit more sharper, a little bit more quicker. And a lot of people just saying he's slow. There's Jamal right there. But this is the short training footage that that you see. And EJ, he always been a methodical type of person. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it looked like his forearm a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? But he looked like he's in shape though. I mean, I don't know how much he weigh right here, but he looks like he's in he look like he's in shape, you know. You know, he got the double, what I'm saying, he got the double punches, and I don't know. It's just hard to say. I would have to see some more footage, man, but I'm looking at every little thing right now because he's got to face Tim Tszyu. And I saw Tim Tszyu fight, and he didn't look all that overwhelming, but he was fighting like a C class opponent. So, you can't really go by that. But man, I don't know. I was hoping to see something more spectacular, maybe him like hitting the pads, a lot quicker, maybe a lot sharper. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't tell with this. It's just a lot of people just saying, he don't look good in this footage. I don't think it's enough really to tell. You know, I don't think it's enough to tell. It's nice. I mean, it just looked like he working on shit. Just getting them reps in. He's punching high. Ronnie Shields is one of the best in the land, coaches in the land. So, what I'm saying, if anybody could get EJ back, it would be Ronnie Shields. You know what I'm saying? Ronnie Shields don't be bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? He's a tough ass trainer too. He's very strict, you know, very strict trainer, very disciplined. And like I said, man, it's hard to tell what's going on. What's going on Donald? It's like it's hard to tell, man. It's just look like he's just really working on shit though. But the footage is just so short, and I haven't seen any other footage except for like when he's like maybe a year ago when he was hitting the pads with his best friend, and he just looked the same pretty much. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I just can't tell. But what I hope is EJ, if he's come back and he surprised everybody, what I'm saying? Like he get in there and he shows that he's sharp, show that he's been working on himself. Hopefully healed over 3 years, after, he lost to Crawford. And you got to get your mind right, you know what I'm saying? Because that was a devastating beat down that he took from Crawford, you know what I'm saying? And you know, uh, 3 years, I mean, that's a good long time to heal, but that's a good long time to be out the sport of boxing too. So it's going to be hard, what I'm saying, for EJ to get the rhythm. He ain't just fighting some scrub, right? Even though I never thought Tim Tszyu was, what I'm saying, him. I never thought he was that good, but he was always a tough guy. What I'm saying? He's always a guy that could take a punch if EJ don't have that kind of that one punch knockout power even when he was on top of his game. So now that we got this version of EJ, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, what I'm saying? Is he going to have enough power? Is he going to have punch resistance? Is he going to have stamina? You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about we know about EJ, man, is his stamina, bro. That pulled him through a lot of fights. Don says he said probably gonna get murdered by that dope British bulldog. Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. I said it's probably gonna be a one-sided beatdown, bro. It's probably gonna be a one-sided beatdown. Not really a whole lot there because Regis never was, Regis's career's been going down in the tubes, and he just never got no momentum or no traction. Now he beat Joseph Diaz, but that's not really somebody who's gonna, push his name up to the forefront. But it is a victory though, so he is coming off a victory, and that says something. At least he's not coming off a loss, which we know boxing don't give a damn about. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, Regis, if he can hold his own and make it to the 12th round, man, that'll be cool with me. I want to see him really. I want to see him get the upset though, Donald. I want to see him get the upset. I want to see him go in there for Lumaloon if he can. And I know that's highly doubtful though. I know that ain't gonna happen. Because the rumor is that your boy ain't 100%. And so I think Regis just doing this for a paycheck, man. You know what I'm saying? And of course, if he's doped up, it's really going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I just hope that EJ is going in there with a sound mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him like when we saw Wilder, and man, that broke my heart, man. Seeing Wilder not being able to pull the trigger, and I was just like, bro, that fight was so damn sloppy. It was so damn sloppy. It was good. Motherfucker falling all over the place. Kershaw falling all over the place. Um, I think he fell about 3 or 4 times, man, and Wilder still couldn't get him up out of there. So it was just a fiasco, bro. Just watching the fighters, get aged out by these conniving ass promoters. Eddie Hearn, protecting AJ, and then AJ had the motherfucking nerve. He had the nerve to be at the fight. All them fights that AJ, had security, so Wilder couldn't even show up, and what I'm saying, when he was in his heyday, fighting Fury, what I'm saying, he ain't want to be nowhere near them guys, right? So now that Wilder's is all aged out, and what I'm saying, he's all used up. Now he want to sit over there like he mean. He want to sit over there in the crowd like he mean. That really kind of pissed me off. I really dislike AJ. Um, I really dislike that dude, man, because I think he's a coward, bro. And I know that's a big thing to say for a fighter, right? Um, they love AJ so damn much, but I said, man, I mean, bro, you missed your opportunity, man. You like to beat Tyson Fury and to beat Wilder. Those are your two biggest names that you could have put on your resume, and you waited them out, bro. You waited them out, and so now you posing. AJ is over there posing like he, like he got like they got this mean money, and he left the fight early too, because he probably saw everything he needed to see. Right, he saw that Wilder didn't have the power, the right hand wasn't there, and then Wilder had timing issues. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was off the mark. So and he left early. He said, okay, you sorry. So now he'll make the fight. And I just think that's pretty pussy punk ass. That's pretty pussy punk ass shit. I really do. Um, so I really dislike that dude, man. And would I watch a AJ Wilder fight? Hell yeah, I would. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be rooting for Wilder. I'll be rooting for the underdog. Um, and that's just what it is, man. I just can't stand that dude. And it's like it's not like AJ is an elite fighter right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like I never thought of him as an elite fighter just because of the way he moved, right? And just because trying to be safe. You know what I'm saying? Going out and using matchroom money to grab the belts and stuff from these B-rated title holders, right? And they just took advantage of the system. That's just all it was. And Wilder got, he got the WBC, you know what I'm saying? But that's his claim to fame. That's all he could really do. He couldn't really break the politics. And I just kind of hate that for him. But if he fight AJ, I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. Um, and you're talking about Connor Benn. I don't think this is going to be a popular fight. You know what I'm saying? This is just for the real boxing aficionados, just to kind of see, you know what I'm saying, where these guys are going to land, right? How they're going to do with each other. I don't think it's going to move the goalpost for nothing. Even if Regis did knock out Connor Benn, you know what I'm saying, it's really not going to you know, really move nothing, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause Connor, nobody gives a shit if Connor being lose. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really care if Regis lose. So these guys, are basically on their way out the sport. So, but just for any boxing aficionado out there, you know what I'm saying, that's interested in watching, I'm going to be watching it this weekend because I really want to see if Regis got anything left. Well, we already know what Connor being going to bring to the table, and that's what's going to make it kind of entertaining. So, you know, um, and getting back to our boy EJ, man, you know, we're gonna have to take a serious look, man, because if EJ goes into this fight with Tim Tszyu and he looks good, man, when I tell you the media is going to explode. Especially if he goes in there and let's say he knocks Tim Tszyu out with accumulation of punches. If he has the stamina, if he, looks the part, what I'm saying, the old EJ coming out, you know what I'm saying, and just throwing, you know what I'm saying, and Tim Tszyu can't deal with it. That's the EJ is going to be back and maybe be a problem at 154. But if he goes in there and Tim Tszyu, just for Luma his ass, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be a problem. He looked like, it's probably going to be time to pack it up. And I think he will, though. If he goes in there and he looks bad against Tim Tszyu, I think EJ he's smart enough to know that, he's past his prime and that, he probably don't have nothing left. Even though I'm rooting for in the opposite, right? I want EJ to get back, even if he don't get back to his old self, at least be able to beat Tim Tszyu because you're not going to be able to compete with a Sebastian Fundora. You're not going to be able to compete with, even a Xander Zayas, or especially not a Jaron Boots Ennis, who been wanting to fight EJ. He been wanting to fight EJ. So you know what I'm saying, and he could get EJ on his resume easy. You know what I'm saying? If he beat Xander and have two belts, you know what I'm saying? I bet you Jaron Boots Ennis would definitely would stoop down to pick EJ up and get that fight, just to have EJ name on his resume. And it's not a dirty thing. It's I just think that he would want to test himself, right? Even though EJ might be, what I'm saying, not quite 100% of himself, right? But I hope I'm just speculating, right? We don't really know where he at, and that's what makes the fight kind of exciting because you really don't know where EJ is on the spectrum of health, spectrum of his athletic ability, the spectrum of his boxing IQ. How is he really? What's going on? You say, is he looking good? You want somebody to go to, one of the fighters to say, man, EJ, man, he's an old self. Somebody in his camp to say, man, yeah, man, he's back. Y'all gonna be surprised, that type shit. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see that. Everything with EJ is so private. You know what I'm saying? So you don't ever get an inkling of where he is. You know what I'm saying? Where his abilities are. You know what I'm saying? So you just kind of gotta wait to see. But if EJ beats Tim Tszyu, I think they'll put him back into the ranking. Um, they'll put him back into the ranking, and we could get maybe a Madrinos fight. Maybe we could get a Bokachuk fight. Any Virgil Ortiz, he was trying to get the fight because right now EJ looks like he's at the bottom of the totem pole, and he looks like food to everybody, right? Because 3 years off, what I'm saying, haven't been like really competing. So everybody kind of want to get in there before he gets his bearing. You know what I'm saying? So if he goes in there and he looks good against Tim Tszyu, then that other people will be looking at him because they know that it takes a while. They know how long it takes for you to kind of get your bearing in boxing and knock that rust off. So he's gonna have fights coming at him, right, before he can get himself together, right? So before he can really get cooking, and that's a smart move because I would want to fight EJ before he really get a groove going or any kind of momentum, right? So especially Jaron Boots Ennis, he win them two belts. You know what I'm saying? I could see him, there's Sebastian Fedora. Um, you know what I'm saying? That's the other belt, you know what I'm saying? So I could see that happening, but I could see him fighting EJ before he fights Sebastian Fedora. You know what I'm saying? Just to pick up that legendary name and put it on his resume. It's a smart move, because it'll only raise his status, right? So that's what I got to say about EJ. Do y'all think? Now I want to ask y'all: do y'all really think that EJ? Y'all think I got a poll? I think where my poll went? Let's see. Oh, it disappears after a while. That's the first time I put one of them polls up there. Hold on. Let me see where my poll at, y'all. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, I had a poll up there. But just to close it out, do y'all think that EJ should retire? Or do you think he'll beat Tim Tszyu? I just want to know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm just rooting for the guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if EJ got enough left right now, but I'll be rooting for him to beat Tim Tszyu, but Tim Tszyu has been active, so it's going to be kind of hard to overcome that. And but I'll be rooting for EJ. But what do you guys think, man? Do y'all think that EJ got what it takes? You know what I'm saying? After 3 years off, a 3-year layoff, to beat Tim Tszyu, you know, let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be shy. You know what I'm saying? Let me know something, you know. But that's a question that I have. And then we got the last thing we're going to talk about today. You got Jaron Boots Ennis versus Xander Zayas. Now I think this is the fight of the year right here. Boots is Boots. Philly, what I'm saying? He got Philly backing him. Um, he is the up and coming star. Just like when EJ was coming up, just like Bud Crawford, he's kind of in that kind of arena, what I'm saying, where the motherfucker could switch hit. He got high skills. Of course, we all know what Boots can do. But then Xander, guys, Xander is a really good fighter, bro. And he got a lot of character and he got a lot of integrity. I like the way he boxes in the ring. I love the way, man, Xander is, I mean, it's almost like if you take the perfect boxer, I'm talking about now he get hit, don't get me wrong, he get hit. But right now, the talent level, what I'm saying, on the journeyman level, the despair, the gap between the skill sets. So, he's able to go in there and grab a couple of belts so easy, right? Because, these guys are not killers. These guys are not, these journeymen, they're not um hardened by years of battles, and what I'm saying, some of these names we don't even know. uh I think it was like Jorge Perez, he won the title off of, and of course, Abbas Barrero, right? These guys we never heard of, but they had belts. So, or what I could like to call title holders, right? So they were title holders. So he was able to go in there and get two belts and unify just like that. So that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot. And then the belts are trading hands so fast, that just lets you know that they're kind of like, either they're even in skills, or they were able to kind of like get the motivation up for that one night to beat who they had to beat, right? So with Xander Zayas, he seemed like he's really comfortable, man. I mean, for a 23-year-old kid to be unified already, that's crazy. That's crazy. He's already unified, you know. So when I saw the press conference, and I saw Jaron Boots Ennis doing something that I never seen him do before. He was trash talking Xander Zayas. He was trash talking. He was popping off, you know what I'm saying? Asking him, is he ready? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see if we can look at a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? So just to bring it up, you know. Let's see. Y'all bear with me for a second. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's see. Jaron. You know you're old when you got to say the shit out loud to get it. Is it Jaron? Let's see. Okay, so all right. Just bear with me for a second. Here we go. Let's see. So what we never seen before was Boots talk this much shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was wonderful. You know, a lot of people are shocked, but I thought shit was wonderful.
Maddox, part of the DAZN broadcast team, and your host for this press conference to announce the
y'all see
pursuit
that?
of greatness,
Can
a
y'all see that?
154-pound title fight between the unified champion, Xander Zayas, and the former unified 147-pound champion, Jaron Boots Ennis. This is a fight that is
Hold on.
everything
Hold on.
that you want to see in.
I got to drop the pitch. Hold on. Let me drop the pitch so y'all can see that. Let me see. Okay, so here we go. Let's see, new tab. Let's see. Let me see. Where's the? Hold on, y'all bear with me for a second. I'm trying to get this thing to pop up. Okay, here we go. Almost forgot how to do this shit. All right. So
In boxing, a 23-year-old champion coming.
One wanted to fight, and we had.
They could go and fill out the.
Y'all didn't see the other levels that he can go to.
In one fight, or two fights, I guess, at 154. You hear a lot of confidence coming from the side of Xander Zayas. What's your level of confidence going into this?
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter. You know what I mean? Like Eddie just got finished saying. But I think he bit off too much. That's what I think. I think, see, one thing about Boots, he can box and he'll fight you inside. So it don't make no difference what way he coming. You know what I mean? And also Boots can punch. You know what I mean? Xander, a great fighter to me. He's a good fighter. That's one of my top guys I like. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be a good fight as long as it lasts. Remember that. As long as it lasts.
So you think this fight ends in a stoppage?
It's gonna be a stoppage. Yes.
You know, you guys have.
y'all think it's gonna end in a stoppage? Do you think it's gonna end in a stoppage, man? I mean, I said in 6. I said it was gonna be in 6. You know, obviously, they're gonna go for the knockout in this one. I do not know why this thing keeps disappearing every time I click on it. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on, let me. I'm just getting my things back. Let's see. I don't know why. Okay. So obviously they're gonna go for the knockout, which is probably now that could work to Jaron Boots Ennis' detriment because he makes a lot of mistakes when he try to go for the knockout.
Had Virgil Ortiz on your mind for the last couple of months, preparing, I guess, mentally, maybe for that type of style. This man over here, like you said, great fighter, very different style than Virgil. What is it going to take to win a fight like this?
Well, I can't give you that information. You know what I mean? But
I had to ask.
You will see. You will see when the time comes, right? Like I said, I mean, he's a good boxer. I mean, he does it all. You know what I mean? And this is what I want him to do. I want him to take Boots to another level. See, Boots got so many different levels they can go to. Y'all didn't see the other levels that he can go to. You know what I mean? Y'all just seen it a little bit. I want somebody to bring it out of you. And I think he's the guy probably to do it. You will see.
Like I always say, you can watch me all day, but when you get in that ring, it's a whole different story. I'm a lot faster than what you think. I'm a lot stronger than what you think. My IQ is higher than what you think. He's gonna be in for a long night. Straight like that.
I've been watching some of your interviews over the last couple of days, and you've basically been saying that he's taking this for the money, that he's taking this because you're the biggest name at 154. You're the biggest fight at 154. Do you believe that?
I think, yeah, he took the fight, but if he's so confident, why ain't he take the 55-45 to the winner?
Now I don't understand why Boots kind of like kept going in on this point. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was just trying to get, like maybe you're just trying to, get his back in the corner or something like that. But I didn't understand the whole why didn't he take the 45-50? That's not a strong argument for, him not wanting to fight Boots, because I think that your boy got 2 belts. That's enough. He wants to fight on his terms. Xander just got to this point. He's been at 154 for a while. Jaron Boots Ennis is the one who's moving up. So he can't come up demanding shit, against a champion who got 2 belts. That shit don't make no damn sense. It don't make no damn sense. So, I mean, I understand, Jaron Boots Ennis, he was the shit at 147, but you coming into Xander Zayas' domain, right, which he's been sitting there, up at that weight, waiting on you, right? And he became the unified champion, So it's like, I didn't understand why he kept talking about this 55-45 shit. Don't get me wrong, Jaron Boots Ennis is my boy, you know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for him in this fight, but I respect the hell out of Xander Zayas, because I always thought that Xander Zayas lacked power. I always thought that he lacked power, and he don't have the next gear. He don't have the wrinkles to be able to beat a Jaron Boots Ennis or Fedora, right? He don't have that next level power. He's slick, but he's not slick enough to outbox Jaron Boots Ennis, in my opinion, or Fedora, right? You know what I'm saying? He would probably go life and death with Bokachuk, or what's the other guy name? What's the other dude name? Other white dude name? I can't keep forgetting how to say. I forget how to say his last name, but he would go life and death with them dudes, right? Maybe 154, maybe they keep saying, like, the poundage is, Boots is a big guy. They say he's probably would end up, up at super middleweight. So I think size ain't gonna be the problem, or taking the shots from Xander, you know what I'm saying, since Boots is coming up from 147. Boots was struggling to make 147 for a second, right? So for him to come up there, I think he will be able to take Xander punches, right? But the man got 2 belts, so why wouldn't he want to negotiate on his, on under his conditions, right? So the argument that he's making here, it just kind of annoyed me a little bit, because you're not going to corner him with that. He's the champion, so you got to respect the champ. Put some respect on his name. Put some respect on the champ name. Now I'm trying to click it, but let's see what the hell.
The winner. That shows right there. Like I said, a great fighter, good fighter, but it's levels, and I'm gonna show him why it's levels.
Maybe because I'm giving you the opportunity to 2 belts.
If you believe in yourself, you would have took the 55,
I
45.
get what you're saying,
Do
but
you understand that?
maybe a fight with you and Virgil could have been 55, 45 to the winner. With a champion, I have 2 belts. I'm the only one that has 2 belts in the division. You want these? I don't need to fight you. I could have fought anybody else.
No, you're absolutely right. You ain't had to fight me. You could have fought somebody else. But I'm just saying, if you believe in yourself that much,
I believe in myself.
If the roles was reversed, I would have did the same. If you was a challenger and I had the belts,
I believe
I would have took the
myself.
55, 45,
Yeah.
and to the winner.
You know for a fact you would.
You know, I don't think it really matters if anybody believes that shit or not. But I think Xander just cooked right here, man. He just totally, you know what I'm saying, shut all that bullshit down, because that's like, what are you offering this man? What are you offering Xander Zayas to risk 2 belts? That means he gets in there and Jaron Boots Ennis for his ass. He is now the new unified champion. So it's all downside, right, for Xander Zayas, right? You know what I'm saying? And Jaron Boots Ennis is the favorite. You know what I'm saying? He's got athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? He's got the power. You know what I'm saying? The boy's slick. You know what I'm saying? He's got a high boxing IQ. So he's taking on a true challenge. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the hell Jaron Boots Ennis, I don't know why he's bringing this up. I don't know who gave him this argument, and I just thought it was kind of lame, right? I would have been like, "Thank you, champ, for giving me the opportunity, man," because the way champions been punking out in boxing, man, you know, you're a real one. You know what I'm saying? You real, bro. That's what I would have been saying to him. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of Xander. You know what I'm saying? That shows me that Xander got a lot of heart. It shows me he got a lot of heart. It shows me that he feels like he's a real champion. He's not trying to hide. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to challenge Boots, who people consider the best at 154 right now. So for him to go ahead and get in that ring and go ahead and take the challenge instead of running from Boots for another 2 to 3 years, for him to just take him on from the jump out the gate, man, I respect this kid. He's only 23 years old. He could have been like, man, I can't lose right now. You know what I'm saying? Let me hold on to the belts and fight some, you know what I'm saying, lesser ranked opponent, somebody safer. No, he went straight to the most dangerous dude. And Boots is that dude. He's dangerous, right? So Xander ain't hiding from nobody, right? So it's going to be a better fight than most people think, because this kid got a lot of pride, and he's got a lot to fight for. You know what I'm saying? He got 2 belts to fight for. And you know, I think Boots is just trying to, you know, in this interview, you know, I think he's trying his best to exude confidence and try to and he's trying to get a little intimidation in there. He's trying to get some intimidation, but that's, you can tell that that's not his forte, right? You can tell that he ain't a good shit talker like that. You know, he's just not. You know what I'm saying? But I like how it's building. I like how the fight is building up. You know what I'm saying? Because this just feels like it's real, right? You know, Jaron is hungry. You know what I'm saying? He really wants to win this fight so he can, you know, he can make his stake at 154. Having 2 belts, that's 2 stakes. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 stakes at 154. That's 2 stakes. That means he's going to be the man, right? You know, just like Xander said, he's the only person at 154 that got 2 belts. So everybody's going to be gunning for Jaron Boots Ennis if he could beat Xander Zayas. And Xander Zayas he know that Boots is coming in hot. He coming in hot. You know, you got Bozy there talking shit like, you know, like, we finna stop you, bro. We finna stop you. And Xander's like, okay, all right, well, stop me then. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just something, you know, I could be full of shit. But it's something going on with this kid. This kid is confident. I mean, I saw him training. When I saw him training, he was dancing. You know what I'm saying? And he was just having a good time training, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, Xander, that dude. And he does have a lot of experience, though. He is a true professional, so maybe that's part of it. But I don't think he really feared Jaron Boots the way other fighters do. I don't think he looks at him in awe the way, boxing fans do. I don't think he look at this dude like that. I think he's really preparing himself. He's going to probably come up with a game plan. And what I was thinking was, they was watching that Karen fight. Now, 2 Cents done got on my ass about that. She talking about, saying Boots, dominated the fight. That's true. That's true that he did dominate that fight. But it was a point, there was a part of that fight where Karen was able to make Boots miss. You know what I'm saying? Once Boots was going for the knockout real bad, and Karen was just moving, even though it seemed like he was running, but he would whack Boots every now and then with a good shot. Now, I don't think Xander got knockout power, but I'm pretty sure he probably hits harder than Karen. Now, and I think, a lot of people think that Xander is slow. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about that. I don't know how, I'm pretty sure Boots is faster than Xander Zayas in the ring, but you know what I'm saying? He has educated feet. He has educated feet. Um, I could see Boots going to his body and slowing Xander down. But I want what I'm thinking is Xander, he's gonna be holding, like Karen did. I think he's gonna take a few things from that Karen fight and try to frustrate Boots. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he got nothing that he can damage Boots with on a permanent level. So it's just going to be hard. It's going to be a hard, long night for Xander. You know what I'm saying? Unless he gets stopped, unless the power of Jaron Boots Ennis, you know what I'm saying, just overwhelm him. And I think that's what Jaron I'm going to go for. Um, but they keep saying that Boots got other levels, and they keep saying that Boots got things that we never seen before. And I believe it. I do believe that Boots, do have other, tools in his arsenal, right? But I want to see them. I want him to start bringing those things out. Or is it just a bunch of bullshit? Is it just a bunch of bullshit? I want to see the other tools that they're talking about, you know. Trying to click it back on. I don't know. I'm in Utah, so I'm in
You wouldn't.
Wyoming.
You would have taken care of your family the same way I want to take care of my family.
No.
And that's part of boxing. At the end of the day, I got to take care of my family. I'm confident that I'm going to beat you June 27th, but I'm the champion.
I understand what you're saying, but you're not listening. If you believe in yourself, you would have took the 55-45 straight like that.
Yeah.
No matter you, I understand you trying to feed your family, you trying to do this, you trying to do that. I'm doing the same thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it's levels, and I'm really gonna show you why I'm like that. And if you really, like I said, if you really believe in yourself, you would have took the 55-45 straight like that.
There's levels, and you're gonna be uncomfortable when it comes to June 27th. Promise.
I afford every style.
All right.
What
Do y'all really believe? Do you really believe what Boots is talking about, man? I mean, it just seems like it's just so surface level bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight. So why are you worried about that? There was just such an aggravating part for me because it seemed like it was so unnecessary, right? Um, this man wanted things on his terms, not on your terms, bro. You're not the champion. Say it with me now. You're not the champion. So I just thought this was wasted time. But I do like how Jaron was telling Xander that there's levels, right? And he just putting it out there like, man, I'm going to show you some different shit. You never seen nobody like me, right? And I hope Boots is coming like that, right? I want to see some new shit. I want to see something, take it to another place. I want to see what else he got. Like when we saw Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying, he did the pull counter, you know what I'm saying? He had the you know what I'm saying, he had the stab jab, I want to see, different wrinkles that Jaron Boots Ennis can bring to the table, you know. Is he gonna borrow from somebody else, or is he gonna just kind of make up his own thing?
What can you bring to the table?
All right.
What can you bring to the table?
You'll see what the 23-year-old brings to the table June 27th. You can ask one of your sparring partners. He knows.
Who?
Now, this was an interesting thing because what's his name, Amari Jones? He said he never sparred this guy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Xander was just kind of like confusing, or he was just caught up in the, you know what I'm saying, the back and forth or whatever. But the guy said they never sparred, and Amari Jones is not part of Jaron Boots Ennis' camp. He's just not, bro. So I don't know. This is
To
kind
your
of
partnership with the zone, and right off the bat,
weird. What the hell happened?
Away from Jaron.
I don't disrespect
No,
anybody.
we respect him for sure. But listen,
All right. Let me take it back.
the winner.
You know for a fact you wouldn't. You would have taken care of your family the same way I want to take care of my family.
No.
And that's part of boxing. At the end of the day, I got to take care of my family. I'm confident that I'm going to beat you June 27th, but I'm the champion.
I understand what you're saying, but you're not listening. If you believe in yourself, you would have took the 55-45 straight like that.
Yeah.
No matter you, I understand you trying to feed your family. You wasn't keeping that same. You just was on some buddy stuff just now when you came over here.
How?
You did. Come on. Guys that you for it, they would have been bashing the mess out of me, bro. It's levels, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, it's levels.
All right.
And you're gonna see for yourself. And I'm
We'll see.
gonna make you
We'll
feel
see June 27th.
everything. And I want you to keep that same energy.
I will always keep the same
everything
energy,
that you
brother.
be saying.
I will always keep the same energy.
You wasn't keeping that same energy. You just was on some buddy stuff just now when you came over here.
How?
You did. Come on now.
Your dad, when we were walking out, he said, "What's up?" I said, "What's up to him?" I'm respectful. I'm not going to disrespect anybody.
We respect him for sure. But listen, you going to get everything you looking for straight
All
like
right.
that. Make sure you ready.
I'm always
Make sure
ready.
you ready.
I'm always ready, brother.
Yo, you
I'm
believe in
always
yourself?
ready.
Do you believe in yourself?
I really do.
You making some money, now you want to bet? You making some money, now you want to bet?
You always want to bet on everything.
Yeah.
You always,
Because I believe in
Come
myself,
on, man.
that
I
much.
believe in.
So maybe that's like a gambler or a Philly thing, you know, because Jaron Boots Ennis, he really believes in betting people. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's something around the culture of Philadelphia, and other places, Las Vegas, stuff like that, where where the kids came up betting and throwing dice and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? It's just you know. But besides all that, I like how Jaron Boots Ennis is like really, throwing these things at him. And really popping his shit, telling him to be ready, right? But Xander seemed like, he's not phased by the shit. He's not phased by it, man. The man's sitting there, you know what I'm saying, with the WBA and the WBO. So he believes in himself. I don't know what it is, but Xander looked like he just been eating, man. His damn face is round. I don't know what the hell going. And then that cut is horrible. That cut is horrible. But you know what I'm saying? Maybe you need, that might make him even more dangerous in the fight. Who knows? Shit might make him even more dangerous. You know, I mean, this was a good back and forth. Um, I really do like the way Xander is handling himself. Man, he's a young dude. Boost is about what, 28 years old now? 28 going on 29. Well, let's see the little roundup here. Let's see what they say.
Believe in myself too.
All right, well, so put something
June
out there.
27th, I'm gonna show you why I believe in myself. Simple as that.
All right.
There's no bets to be made. There's no nothing to be made. There's no take care of your family. I take care of mine. June 27th,
Simple.
I will show you
End of
why
story.
I'm the best 154.
In the story, I'm the best at 154. You know
All right.
that.
We'll see.
You know that.
but you
All right,
mentioned
we'll
the
All right. All right.
the 55-45 you're talking about, of course, the split, the purse
Yeah.
split on the money. What do you think it says about him that he didn't accept that?
Like I said before, I just like I said, if roles reverse, I would have took the 55-45.
All right.
At the end of the day, it's about legacy for me and showing the world why I'm the best in the world and why I believe in myself. And I would have took it because I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just different. And he know that, and he gonna say straight like that.
All right, that's cool. Cute words. That's cute.
You said what?
I said that's cute.
That's cute.
Yeah.
You got blonde hair, bro.
I got blonde hair. It's something that has to do with cultural
that's
stuff.
cute.
Cultural stuff.
That's cool.
Cultural
That's cute.
stuff for Puerto Rico.
That's cute.
It's cool.
That's cute.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I know. They fuck with it. They like it.
All right. All right. All right.
Xander, let's hear from you because everyone on this stage is in agreement that this fight does not happen unless you are pushing for it. You have been saying you want this fight for day one. So explain to everybody, what is it about this fight? What is it about facing Jaron Ennis that you absolutely had to do?
It's always been about legacy. It's always been about legacy. Becoming the youngest ever, time with Top Rank, legacy. Becoming the youngest world champion at 22 when I did it, legacy. Youngest unified world champion, legacy. And now fighting one of the best in the world in the division. It's about legacy. Anybody could have taken the easy route and just went any other fighter top.
Man, I like this. I love this kid, man. I love this kid, man. Do you hear what he said? Did y'all hear what he said? Nah, I don't think y'all heard what he said. Y'all checking out, man. This kid says all about legacy. When do we hear anybody talk about legacy? Right? We don't even hear Jaron Boots Ennis talk about damn legacy. Not legacy. This dude, he said it. He got 2 belts and he's talking about legacy. This is what we need in this sport today, bro. This is what is missing. Xander got my respect, bro. He got my respect. Man, I mean, I just felt a chill go through me when he said legacy, bro. And he wanted to fight the best. I'm telling you, bro. This dude here, I wish they could make, multiple Xander Zayas and just put them in each division, right? Because we're missing this down at 140. You know what I'm saying? You got a couple at 135. 135 is starting to straighten out a little bit. Just a little bit though. But 140 is a damn disgrace, right? We need to get 147 straightened out. You know what I'm saying? It's like we need the legacy to come back to boxing. That's why it's dying. That's why everybody that's why everybody doing other shit than watching boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to fight nobody, right? People got better shit to do, right? Than to watch a bunch of friends avoid each other. You know, it should be a rule. There's no friends in boxing, bro. There's no friends in boxing. You got Errol Spence Jr. about to fight Jamel Charlo. He wants that fight. That's probably going to be a fight that probably, if EJ wins against Tim Tszyu, you bet your bottom dollar that he's probably going to end up fighting Jamel Charlo, because that's the caliber of class that he's in, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be an even better warm-up or tune-up to even fight these other guys. I don't know if he's going to fight these new jacks, EJ. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But that Jamel Charlo fight, that's a fight for him to have in Texas where he's going to make a big money, right? And that's going to be part of his legacy too. That's a legacy fight too. And the Tim Tszyu fight is a legacy fight for EJ too. So look, we got some good fights coming, some legacy type stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why this fight really is really exciting to me, because it's gonna move the sport forward as a sport, not just some kind of big event, big entertainment event, right? It's for the sport of boxing to move forward. It's gonna be undisputed titles on the line, bro. As a matter of fact, I wish they could fight twice. I wish, it could be one belt at a time. You know what I'm saying? That way we get double the legacy, right? That would be totally cool with me, right? Because I love this kid's mentality. He's gonna lose. He gonna lose. He gonna get Falumaloom. Oh yeah, I believe he gonna get Falumaloom. I mean, I've seen him fight. I've seen most of his fights, Xander Zayas, and I don't think he got the power. I think he's outgunned. But I love his spirit, bro. I love his mindset. And I don't think he's scared, bro. I don't think he's scared at all. I think he's going to be ready for Boots. But the problem is Boots is super hyped and he's ready for this damn fight. And that's going to be a problem for him.
Top 15, just get an easy W and that's it. Collect some good cash and that's it. I want to fight the best. I want to show that I'm the best every time I step into the ring, and that's what I'm going to.
And that's those Hispanics that think like that, they be hard to beat, bro. The Roberto Durant, well, he's not Puerto Rico, but Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? The Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? When they come in here with this mindset, y'all best believe he's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? On June 27th, he's gonna be a problem. I mean, I believe that. This kid believe in the legacy of the sport. This ain't that old pussy punk ass shit that we be watching. This dude really, he got them belts and he's going to fight to keep those belts. If you understand what I'm saying, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to stop coming back and watching this boxing shit because shit is about to get real. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Xander's going to win, but I think he's going to give Boots a really good competitive fight, y'all. I think he's going to give him a competitive fight.
And demanding to face the best in the division
But let
and a
me,
former champion eager to jump into the biggest fights in his new weight class.
I'm trying to take it off. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be super competitive, bro. What's going on, PGH Big Dog in the building? What's happening? You know, I just be talking and shit. He said Boots starts to show more personality. Said he finally watched them on the Molly Days. I know, man. Boots is, he's Philly through and through. Um, yeah, I like to see, him come out, break that shell open, you know what I'm saying? Because truly, these guys' personalities, they don't have that kind of charisma, right? Like, even a Bernard Hopkins got that charisma, right? Um, they're lacking, or they're just not opening up, or they're just not trusting themselves. They're trying to control too much, you know. They got too many, they too self-conscious. And they need to get in there so we can get back and they can concentrate on, just be yourself, you know what I'm saying? And but for him to, I think I think Boots really want those belts. And I think that has really motivated him to kind of jump outside of that shell. He can't, you know what I'm saying? He's finally fighting for something that's going to put him in a position to make a legacy and a name for himself. So he's really up for this fight. He's really motivated for this damn fight. And you know what I'm saying? Xander, I think Xander is motivated because he's a champion. It's something about when you become a champion, it makes you I ain't gonna say it doubles your motivation or it doubles your skill level. It's you know what I'm trying to say? Like it makes you work harder. It makes you more dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got something to fight for. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. It's like when I'm watching this kid, and I'm watching him um, I'm watching him grow his confidence, and I'm watching him turn into a champion. Right? He's turning into a champion, and if Boots go in there thinking he's just gonna go in there and just destroy this kid, he may just do that, but he's gonna go through some shit. He's gonna go through it, man. Cause this kid really, he got a lot of pride. Um, he really believes in his abilities, right? And Zen is not a bad fighter, bro. He's not a bad fighter. It's just that Boost more athletic. You know what I'm saying? He's just more mobile. He's got power. He just got the twitch. He's got the twitch muscles. You know what I'm saying? Where he can hit you with lightning speed combinations. He just got too many gifts. And then he got a high boxing IQ. But the problem I think is going to come in is Boots going for the knockout. He wants to put on a show. That's his thing. I have not seen where Boots, saying coming. He always take direct shots. When like when he fought what's that guy name? Looked like a fucking Italian. I forget what his name is. Roma. He was getting tagged. You know what I'm saying? Karen. He was getting tagged. Anytime he try to put on the show and he just forget his defense, you know what I'm saying? He just go in, and that even happened to Crawford with Madronov. Look, I said it. I didn't even have it in context, and I just said Madronov rolled right off the tongue. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? When he goes in there trying to showboat, and you know what I'm saying, he's trying to take over, and he don't let the fight come to him, and he gets hit with that overhand right repeatedly, repeatedly. You know, and I show hate that he has that because with Sugar Ray Leonard, like every fighter has like an Achilles heel. And with Sugar Ray Leonard, it was, him listening to people tell him he don't have enough power for this fight. He don't stay in and fight with Roberto Duran. It was, you don't stay in and fight. Um, you know what I'm saying? And he ended up losing that fight, listening to people, right? Jaron Boots Ennis, trying to put on a show. Somebody gonna end up knocking his ass out. Is what I'm saying. If you don't get out of that mentality. Somebody's gonna end up knocking out Jaron Boots Ennis if he keep going in there with that mentality. I love him. I think nobody can fuck with him. Um, but if he keep going, if he keep listening to people, if he keep listening to his daddy, wanting to knock out people, that's the easiest way to get knocked out in boxing is to try to knock somebody out. So I just think he should let the fight. I think he should let that damn fight come to him. Let the fight come to you, and you'll get the knockout. I think it's just like that, because this kid is a technician. Xander is a technician, and something tells me we underestimating this kid. I think Boots gonna get him, but something tells me we are underestimating Xander Zayas. Now, I hope he ain't doing nothing. I hope he ain't doing nothing illegal, because I'm tired of that. I'm tired of seeing these guys, cheating, and then walking with their head up like they've done something, It's like, bro, you cheated. So it's like I'm looking at Ryan Garcia, It's just like, how can you walk around like you legitimate? Connor Benn. It's like, how can you walk around like like you really earned something and you're a cheater? You're a goddamn cheater. So I'm just hoping that Xander ain't messing with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just he just got confidence, man. It's that he got that much confidence to the point where I'm wondering, is he doing something? And that's what I'm thinking, man. Not that it's actually true, but I'm just trying to say the transition. The transition, you know what I'm saying, from, he's a 23-year-old kid, man. And it's like you facing really, I'm gonna say it. If nobody else is gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. He's facing probably the best fighter at 154, and he went straight to him. I love this kid, man. It's hard not to root for him. It's hard not to root for Xander Zayas. Say win or lose, I think it don't even matter at this point just because of his mindset. So that's something to be said. What's going on? 585-761. What's going on, bro? It says this is yeah. I like the fact that his personality, man, is starting to we're starting to see what's really up with Boots, man. Even though he don't have, he don't, his fan base is kind of, I think he got a decent fan base, but he's gonna have to show. I think the more he goes on and fight better names, I think he's gonna get a lot of respect for this fight. And I think this fight is going to increase his fan base. It's going to put a lot of eyes and give him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like he become a unified champion up at 154. Shit, he's finally got there after 30 something fights, bro. And I'm not mad at that because a lot of fighters don't make it until the late 20s and early 30s. You know what I'm saying? That's just boxing. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have the right names in the right places at the right time, and that don't happen for everybody. Look at Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen for him until late, you know. And boy, did it happen for him. He got the Canelo fight. The shit was all that. You know what I'm saying? He said, what's going on, boy? I got some people coming in. He says, New Era TV. He says, I wouldn't be surprised if Bob had him on Pez. Hey, if he goes in there and he Falumaloon, Jaron Boots Ennis, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem, bro, because we're gonna be like, this dude ain't never knock out nobody like that. And in boxing, today, you know, But I don't think he'll rock like that. I don't think he would want to win like that. That's how much I believe in this kid. I don't think he would want to win like that, tell you the truth. You know? Um, it's just something about him, man. It's like the way he talk, you know what I'm saying, the way, but we'll see, you know what I'm saying, if he's out there, you know what I'm saying, like leaping to the middle of the ring and he punching niggas through niggas and all this kind of stuff, you'd be like, oh God damn, not you too. But it's a lot of money on the line. I think Boots is coming into his own, as far as the personality. It's funny how, you got to get comfortable. Tank had to get comfortable with the media. I thought the boy had some kind of speech impediment, what I'm saying, when he first started. He couldn't put a sentence together, and he got media trained on his own. He started getting his own rhythm, and I think that's what's going on with Jaron Boots Ennis. He's getting it, getting comfortable with knowing who's who, what to say, what not to say, and I think he's going to get a lot better over time. But even though he's been boxing he got 30-something fights, he looked like he should be comfortable, but he's got that Philly. People from Philly are a little bit different. Um, you could look at Bernard Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of no other Philly fighters right now. But they got their own. They just a little. I ain't saying they crazy or nothing. I'm just saying they got their own culture. You know what I'm saying? You could go city to city. New Yorkers, they got their own culture. You know what I'm saying? People down south, Florida, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. You know what I'm saying? Down in Florida, they got their own kind of swag. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, they got to, you just got to get more experience and more comfortable in front of the cameras and stuff. And Boots always kind of tried to play the the good guy, and I think it was YSM. He always came up through YSM, and I love those interviews, with him and Greg Hackett. And I think Greg Hackett, is his channel back on, y'all? Because I think somebody reported him when he went off on Keyshawn, what I'm saying, for all that bugaboo stuff, what I'm saying, he was doing, which is a disappointment, what I'm saying. I'm just so tired of the the fighters that are coming in that's not serious about, what I'm saying, like really going after the top names, right? Keyshawn got skills, got great skills, what I'm saying, but he's a clown, bro. He's a clown. Now, maybe that's too harsh. I don't know. I'm kind of an old school type, watcher and everything. So for me, I want him to establish himself first before he start clowning. You know what I'm saying? Ali clown and he fought. You got to do both. You know what I'm saying? You got to multitask, son. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to see you all out there in the ocean talking shit about why nobody ain't fighting me. Bro, you just getting to the point where you fighting 12-round fights. Yeah, you did a great job. Let me talk to you, Keyshawn. If you see this on Full Counter Boxing, come on here if you want to. Um, bro, you know what I'm saying? You did a good job. You did a good job with your main OTs. That was great. You know what I'm saying? You even got the guy up out of there. That's great. Great, 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 great. We need you to keep going. You haven't even fought 6 times in a year. Who you fighting now? You're fighting Albright, somebody that you already beat. Somebody that you already beat. Your name, we're looking at you like you one of them ones. We're looking at Keyshawn and Shakur and Devin. We're looking at them guys like they one of them ones, right? You're a special fighter. We're the fighter that will pay pay-per-view to see you, right? So we want to see you guys get out there and fight the best, man. Instead of all this social media and Twitter and all that stuff, it just make you seem, silly. It used to be a time that you had less access to the fighters, but it really helped them in a way because you don't get to see what they're truly like, right? You don't get to see what they truly like, so because a lot of these guys are goofy as hell, right? Or you just be catching them at a time where they're just letting off steam and, they're not as intense or, what I'm saying, they're not training as hard. You're just catching them at different aspects. But back in the day, you didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? You just saw them when they were kicking ass. So you just thought they was a total badass, right? Like Tyson, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't know that Tyson, he was getting beat up in some of those sparring sessions, you know what I'm saying, with, but he be out of shape and all that kind of shit. They're gonna beat your ass when you're out of shape. You know what I'm saying? Whoever your sparring partner is, Not nowadays because they'll kick your ass up out of there. Floyd used to kick people. He kicked Errol Spence Jr. out. What I'm saying, when he fought him too hard. So there's different rules for different camps, but I think the less we knew about fighters back in the day, the more we could work from our imaginations, and what I'm saying, and you didn't have to see them in these goofy positions. What I'm saying, and you just kind of, I just think it worked for the box office. You know what I'm saying? So nobody knew what Sugar Ray Leonard was like. Nobody knew what Tommy Hearns was like. You kind of just your imagination. You're like, oh man, that dude there, he's a classy dude, man. So that dude there, man, he don't play no shit. Tommy Hearns, he'd probably knock your ass out. You know what I'm saying? If he saw you out there bullshitting, you say something, the wrong thing, he'll knock you out. That kind of thing. These guys here, man, I would push past one of these niggas. I was like, nigga, get the fuck out my face. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, it is no way in the world. They just don't inspire that kind of fear, or it's just like they um just so normal. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you don't see that aura around them until they get into the ring, right? And then you start seeing the skills and all the different disciplines that they worked on. Because I think Keyshawn got a great I think he got a great skill set, man. I talk a lot of shit about him, but one thing I can't take away from Keyshawn is his skills, right? I just want to see his mindset. I want to see him beat Andy Cruz, who beat him 3 times in the Olympics. That would have been the first fight. You know what I'm saying? That should have been his first fight. When Andy Cruz got up there, right? He should have been hunting for him. You beat me in the Olympics, I'm going to beat you in the pros. But we didn't see it. The competitiveness wasn't there, right? Abdullah Mason, whoever was there at 135 when Keyshawn was making his bid, right? I said, man, I was so excited to see Keyshawn come up there, right? Even though he was still, going through the ranks, I think he still jumped ahead and not and didn't fight, the guys that he should have fought at 135. So he moved and he totally tanked Del Santos, right? I mean, and then you got the Crawford camp coming out saying that what's his name, Bernie the Boxer, coming out saying that, man, he knows that you ducked him. You know what I'm saying? And you missed weight on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, wow. I was like, wow. I said, is that real, man? It's like you just got into the game, bro. And you're another one of those ones that we're looking at to really elevate the sport and make it a sport again instead of this just a money event for wherever you go, right? So I'm looking for boxing to change, and I think Xander Zayas is one of them ones that's gonna bring boxing back to where it's supposed to be. And the more boxers we get on board with that, now you got Zuffa boxing after. Now I don't know if that's going to be successful, but if it runs off the model where the best, whoever, there's one belt, not two, three, four belts. You know what I'm saying? And the best is fighting the best over at Zuffa boxing. Guess what? Zuffa boxing is going to become a big sport. It may even take over. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a bunch of bullshit that we got going on right now with the sanctioning bodies, the way they running things right now. So, but hopefully, boxing to get back on track. I keep hoping that it gets back on track, but they're not building enough fighters, what I'm saying, enough of the journeymen to like really give them these guys a good test. Not when you can skip around and cherry pick, saying this guy, he doesn't bring me nothing. So especially when you're not a champion, right? And then there's just too many, it's just too many belts, silver belt, the WBC silver belt, what I'm saying, the cheese toast belt. Just too many belts that don't mean nothing. Too many sanctioning fees, you know. And these guys are not, the bottom guys are not making money like that. So it should be a whole lot more competition going on, in my opinion. We used to see Wednesday night fights, Tuesday night fights, Friday night fights, and you get to see the different rankings fight off different cards, right? But we don't have that now. So now we got to like really do our research when we hear the name and go back and see and cross-reference who they fought, right? So now we got to do a lot of that instead of just seeing them on the telly and knowing, okay, I saw that guy fight on Tuesday fight on night's fight. He's a decent fighter. You know what I'm saying? Man he got a great left hook. You know what I'm saying? He got power, that type thing. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just they're not building them like that. So, they don't want to put the time and the promotion, what I'm saying, into these guys like they used to. So now, you don't know who's who, right? Who's good, who's really good until you look into them yourself, right? So, but boxing, hopefully it'll get back to being a sport. I think Xander he's a breath of fresh air, and I think Boots is a breath of fresh air because I think Boots to fight anybody, even being managed by Eddie Hearns. I think Boots will take the challenges. If he become undisputed, I think he'll fight Virgil Ortiz, even though Virgil Ortiz don't have a belt, even though Virgil Ortiz is having issues with Oscar De La Hoya right now. Um, I think to have the opportunity to fight a champion, a unified champion, I think Virgil Ortiz can't turn that down. Now, if Virgil Ortiz move up, I'm going to be really pissed. I'm going to be really pissed off. If he do some sucker shit like move up, you know what I'm saying, because he don't want to face these guys, that would be crazy. Because I am a Virgil Ortiz fan. When he fought Bogachuck, when he fought Maginov, I thought those were wonderful fights. And he even got knocked down. Virgil Ortiz got knocked down by Bogachuck. I thought Bogachuck was going to be a problem, bro, until he just started breaking down. I just don't think he didn't have the durability over time, you know what I'm saying, to last. But those dudes right there, they were good journeymen. That's what I'm talking about when I say journeyman, because those guys don't quite have enough to become, even though Maginov, he was the what was he, the WBO champion for a second before Crawford came through there. You know what I'm saying? And he gave Crawford a good fight too. He gave him a better fight than Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? Even though I do think something was wrong with EJ. I heard something, I heard that his ribs were cracked. I heard he had cracked his rib, but nobody tells EJ them to stop sparring so fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? They spar like they fight in the ring. So that's a big thing with his camp that he really has to change, right? He hurt his eye. He got his eye fucked up before he fought Manny Pacquiao, right? So they had to cancel that. So he hasn't learned his lesson yet. Hopefully, he's not trying to spar like that. I don't think Ronnie Shields will allow EJ to spar like that. I don't think he'll do it. But who knows? EJ's always pushing himself to that next level, and he's not a young man anymore. Um, so Father Time, what I'm saying, makes you be pragmatic. What I'm saying, when it comes to fighting, you got to fight smarter, not harder. And Floyd Mayweather told EJ that a long time ago. Told him that a long time ago. He said, "Man, you can't fight like that. Your entire career, you got to take a break. You got to box sometime." And I know EJ can box. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he'll bring that out when he fight Tim Tszyu. Does he have that ability to bounce? I don't know. Like I said, everything is so many question marks when it comes to EJ. But it's intriguing though, because of who he once was. You know, 3 belts, uh three titles. What I'm saying, fighting the best in that division, and then making weight at 147 for a decade. That's pretty goddamn good. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty goddamn good. You know. But yeah, man, I am looking forward, what I'm saying, to these fights. I don't know if your boy Regis gonna be able to pull it out. I'm rooting for Regis, you know what I'm saying? Because Regis is a real dude. He don't he didn't have the best talent, but he gave it all he had, right? Um, I think he's one of the last of the Mohicans. Um, and we seen Danny Garcia go, get knocked out. What I'm saying, we just saw Keith Thurman and Fundora. Uh, and that was crazy. That was diabolical. That was diabolical. Um, But Keith, you know what I'm saying, he went in there and got him another paycheck to feed his family, which is cool. And he didn't get too messed up. And had the nerve to come out there and like, I was just cooking. Bro, you was getting your ass beat down to a sauce. Keith, you were getting beat down to a sauce. You know, got to watch Wilder go in there and, you know, fight the most sloppiest fight I've ever seen in boxing history. Oh, you didn't hear? Technique. He says, why don't they just feed Wilder to AJ? The whole UK would laugh at Wilder. But I mean, oh, okay, get humiliated. Well, he went straight to AJ face and say, let's do it. And now AJ coward ass, you know what I'm saying, finally watching from the stands, he see that the right hand ain't dangerous no more. Eddie Hearn, you know what I'm saying, protected him for years, you know what I'm saying? How can you even call Wilder a bum, bro? I mean, he fought Tyson Fury how many times? How can you call him bummy? That shows a certain mentality technique. It's like this man fought a 6'9" Nephilim. This dude is not human. You know what I'm saying? And he's all drugged up. You know what I'm saying? They allow certain fighters to use steroids. This dude be 400 pounds. Then he runs to England, and now all of a sudden he's in shape, bouncing and running around and everything. It's like, bro, stop. Stop with the madness, man. It's like we got to see things for what it is, you know? Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then Tyson Fury never has power until he fight Wilder. He never has power until he fight Deontay Wilder. That's the only time he looks like that. Everybody else, he looks like a fat sloppy pig. He's throwing shit everywhere. You know, he's never bouncing on his feet. But when he fight Wilder, he looks like like the white Muhammad Ali. It's like, get out of here with that, bro. UK got a long way to go. Y'all do have one. Y'all do. What's that guy named Iman Atama something? That dude there got some hand. That dude gonna be a motherfucker. That dude is that's probably the best heavyweight that I've seen. So what's his name? Atama something. He's a British dude. Um, man, that dude is bad, bro. I said I got to check him out, man. That dude got some hands. He got feet. You know what I'm saying? He got everything. So, y'all, the UK got him one. They definitely got him one. But you can't call Wilder bummy, bro. That dude hard, man. I mean, he goes in there to fight. You may not like his boxing skills. You may not like what he do, but when he had the power, he went in there and gave it all he had. You know, he gave it all he had. And really think about it. The dude outweighed him by what? 80 pounds? 80 pounds, 80, you know what I'm saying? Something crazy. You know what I'm saying? So come on. If you're gonna go in there and fight that guy, what he fought him 3 times? You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna fight that guy, come on. You can't call him bummy, bro. Especially the way he was knocking out people and the way he held down the WBC for years, bro. Come on. You gotta stop. We gotta stop the madness. You may not like Wilder, but you gotta respect. You gotta give him his respect. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give him his respect. I don't know if you trolling or what, but it's all good. Troll all you want. You know what I'm saying? The man put his time in, you know what I'm saying? He fought, you know what I'm saying? He became rich and he saved his daughter, you know what I'm saying, to give his daughter a better life. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Mm. Oh, I sound low? What? Let's see. Oh, he said I sound slow. Well, you must be don't know much about my channel. You must be don't know much about my channel. Why would you even come over here with that kind of energy, man? It's weird, yeah, it's weird how you dickheads come over here with that kind of energy. We talking about boxing, bro. You talking about you sound slow. Man, I've been on here for years. Shut the fuck up, bro. You know what? Get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit. How old are you? Are you some teenager? Get the hell up out of here. We still got people with that kind of energy, you know. It's like, come on now. How you gonna call a band that fought a giant 3 times, bro? You know what I'm saying? Got his ass beat. and went back for more. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. That's just totally disrespectful. If you don't you don't have to like Wilder. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. But you got to respect what he done, bro, for the sport. You know what I'm saying? He got people like you can look at him and say and call him a bum when he went in there. I mean, they basically he won the first fight. You know what I'm saying? They did everything to save Tyson Fury, except for like, get him up off the goddamn and damn near got him off the damn canvas too. Give him a goddamn 30 count, But we ain't gonna get all into that. We ain't gonna get all into that. It is what it is, man. It's just a lot of people that like to hate watch boxing. Got a lot of like Dante Boxing says, there's a lot of race fans out here. A lot of race fans, but it don't matter. Boxing is built on race. It really is. You want to see somebody like you win. You know, that's why I have no problems with Xander, Tito, fight for Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? They want Puerto Ricans, Cotto, you know what I'm saying? They want Puerto Rico to win. They want Puerto Rico to be number one. No, I ain't got no problems with that. Only when black people, that's when you get all these like really hyper, you know what I'm saying? Because what it is, if you notice, Tyson Fury, he went to the crunk gym. They always use our shit. They always use our people. They always use our coaches. They always use our shit and throw it back at us. You know what I'm saying? They train Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Emmanuel Stewart. You know what I'm saying? And what's the other name? What's his name? Sugar Bear, whatever the fuck his name is. Sugar, whatever. The little fat dude that took over after Emmanuel Stewart. You know what I'm saying? They always using our shit, bro. And then they want to throw it back in our face, right? They be so happy. How many great you got Dalton Smith now? Boy, I bet you happy about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I bet you're happy about that shit. Now Dalton Smith can hit. You know what I'm saying? I do like his toughness. Don't get me wrong. I do like his toughness, but I don't think he's gonna last, bro. I don't think he's gonna have the lasting power. I do like his toughness. He does have boxing IQ. I'm not gonna lie. The boy can box. The boy can box. You know what I'm saying? But he's fluid, but not I don't see him with long stand power. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him with long stand power. I'm just thinking about all of the great white fighters that we have today. And it's been a long time, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. So, you call Wilder a bum, you know what I'm saying? Anytime we have these, racial conversations, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you probably need to be quiet. Probably need to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that they're gonna feed Wilder to AJ. But I'm gonna be there for it and I'm be rooting for Wilder. I'm gonna be rooting for Bummy Wilder. I'll be rooting for him. Oh yeah. Because Wilder got hard. He's going to give it all he's got. He might go in there and get knocked out, but AJ, the younger, fresher guy, so that's to be expected. But we all know AJ would not fight that man when he was in his prime. Wouldn't go nowhere near Wilder, and it was a shame to watch. And y'all just want to talk around that. You just want to talk around that. It's okay. It's okay. We know how you do. It's all good. You want to talk around it. That's all good. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. I think we covered everything. Let's see. We talked about the Regis fight. Talked about EJ comeback. What that's looking like. You know, what I'm saying what he's looking like in training. What I'm saying will he be able to beat Tim Tszyu? Um, and there's a question mark. It's just a question mark. Then we talked about Jaron Boots Ennis and his Xander Zayas fight. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is probably going to be fight of the year. I think that's going to be the fight that really brings everybody attention back to boxing. And I think that's going to be great. But I'm glad I went live today. I'm stuck out here in Wyoming. You know, full kind of. You know what I'm saying? Driving. Well, I'm not driving tonight. I'm taking a break. But I'm glad I came on live, you know what I'm saying? And the better the fights get, the more we'll go live. And y'all know how we do, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we'll sit up for 8 hours, 7 hours or whatever, talk about these fights. know what I'm saying, the more we have something to talk about, right? But that's pretty much it. PGH Big Dog 300. Daya, what's going on? And let's see, who else up in here? Light skin. Dang, a lot of people. 300 come through. But thank y'all for coming through. And let me see. We'll see the next time we go live, man. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out, man. Till the next time. See you guys.